This is Brooklyn graffiti legend James Top. You are watching Visual Caffeine.
Peace, everybody. Welcome to Visual Caffeine. We got a special guest, special episode today. We've been planning this here for years, and we finally got the schedules right. This is my brother, the Subway legend, James Top.
Yes, indeed.
Brooklyn's finest right here.
Definitely Brooklyn's finest, man. What's up, Brooklyn? You know I love you.
That's right, James
My
Top.
hometown.
Yeah, James Top. What does Top stand for?
The Top stands for the Art Partners.
The Art Partners?
Yeah, we were a pioneering graffiti crew.
Word.
From 1974 to 1978, where we were very active on the New York City subway lines during the graffiti era of painting graffiti on trains in New York City.
Yes, I remember it, man. If it wasn't for you brothers, I wouldn't have gotten to art.
Well, thank you very much, man. We were inspired by the generation before us, but of course, like every other generation, we wanted to bring something new and different in the game. And basically what we did was we mastered a style form of graffiti art called the throw up.
Yes, the throw up. Now explain that a little bit more so people don't think that you're getting drunk and doing
not throwing up like that. But basically doing something very artistic that is the next up level than a tag.
Right.
A throw up basically is your own personal expression, but it's only done with an inside color and outside color.
Right.
What we did do was we mastered silver and black for sure.
Why silver and black?
Because those colors were the only colors available in our community, because the silvers and the blacks we used to get from either Federation, what do you call it?
Like refurbishing?
Refurbished, furniture refurbishing places and auto body stores. So we used to get the high heat silvers and the chrome silvers, and that became our trademark.
Right.
And we started Top in 1974. I think I was 12 or 13. By 1977, we were the flat out kings in New York City, where we had kinged more train lines than any other crew in the history of graffiti writing on the train.
That's crazy. Who was in the Odd Partners? Like, who are some of the people that were with you starting the movement?
Yeah, well, we had one guy that was totally incredible. His name was N1, and basically he was the greatest graffiti painter in a short period of time than anybody. He would do over 20,000 throw-ups during his period of time. Not only would he king more lines than anybody, but he would do it with two different names. One was N and one was B.I. Then we had a brother from Brownsville, Puerto Rican brother, by the name of Hearst and O.I., and he was simply incredible and dedicated. We had Mickey 729 from Bedford-Stuyvesant. And of course they had me, G2, and that's JEE2 from East New York. Pink House's finest in the building.
That's right.
Right now. And basically from there, we worked with all of the other writers that was involved in this movement called the Throw Up Movement, which was the most active graffiti painting period in the history of train writing from 1974 to 1978.
Wow.
And later on, I would be mentor to Dondi White, who would eventually become one of the most well-known graffiti artists, not only in New York City, but in the world. He was also a member of our crew through our apprenticeship and our mentorship program.
That's what's up. So mentorship is really important in hip-hop.
It's always been very important for us.
Right.
And as you know, I get a little more experienced here. As far as hip hop is concerned, we need to pass this on, not only our culture, but pass it on to you are responsible for the next generation,
right, for the people coming up.
That's right. That's right. And it's always been a part of what we've been doing as far as the Art Partners is concerned. I'm very proud to be a part of the history of the Art Partners and to taking it to newer heights in which we are doing. We are a part of the Cornell Cooperative.
I was just going to bring that up,
Yeah, Hip Hop Archives, as well as Graffiti NYC TV, too.
Yeah, you've had that for 20 years, man.
Yeah,
You're OG
20 years. And I got to shake your hand, man, for sticking in there. How long Visual Cafe you been on?
8 years.
8 years.
8 years,
so
yeah.
you're closing in on your decade.
I noticed that the Top Cats, not just the silvers and black, but you guys used whatever colors you wanted.
Yeah, well,
Red Devil, whatever you had is whatever you used.
No, I mean we've had a long, illustrious career as far as showing the beauty of this art form.
Right.
I've done this art form on every level. You know, now I'm getting into more of administrative work and managerial aspects of the art form. But you know, it's always been about colors and creativity.
Right. And the funk of it. I mean, it's got to be funky.
It got to be funky. We're going to do it. And I think Dondi illustrates what it is to see a beautiful top to bottom whole car. And I think the rest of the history of Top illustrates beauty. There's beauty in every aspect of this art form, and I'm just happy that I'm still here being a contributor you know, to the culture in its evolution.
Right. Well, you're definitely a contributor. You're in charge of the Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, the Graffiti Hall of Fame.
I mean,
at
that
the most famous address in hip hop culture.
106 in Park.
106 in Park Avenue.
That's
the most famous address in hip hop culture. Every year, once a year, we've been doing it for the longest. The New York City Graffiti Hall of Fame, man, and I've been in charge of that annual mural project for the last, I say, 10 years.
Wow. See, this brother's doing things that you don't even know about.
But that's another one of my unpaid jobs, by the way.
And that, you know, it's all good to make money and everything, and we all strive for that, but sometimes it has to come from the heart. In order to get to that level, you know.
Well, I mean, a long time ago, I said I was going to dedicate myself, you know, to the evolution of this art form and what we have here, and trying to make it better. I produced over 400 graffiti art exhibitions on my own. And of course, my television show has been on the air for 20 years.
Where can we see that?
We could see that every Sunday, 1:30 a.m., Channel 67 on the MNN network, and MNN stands for Manhattan Neighborhood Network. You can also see me live stream anywhere, any Sunday at 1:30 a.m. at www.mnn.org. And of course, if you need to email me, it's graffitinyctv@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. You want to know anything about graffiti art? graffitinyctv@gmail.com. The only email address that you got to use to find out anything about what's going on in graffiti art in New York City.
And he's not just talking; he'll hit you back and actually, you know, build with you and stuff.
Yeah, because I don't want you to walk up on me and say, "Hey, James, I emailed you." Then no, I get back to everybody.
Right.
I mean, it's my duty.
Right. Well, I mean, you want people to treat you as you treat them.
There you go. Exactly, just like that. I mean, we're New Yorkers, and there's only one way to treat another brother, especially if you don't even know him, and that's with respect.
Right. We were mentioning new writers and stuff like that. And what do you feel about all these new paints? Like you guys learned with Krylon, Red Devil, Rust-Oleum,
right?
All the originals.
Yeah.
I've asked other writers this question. Just like DJs should learn how to do vinyl.
Sure.
Should writers learn how to use the elementary paint and then go to the more recent ones, or is it okay to start with like Montana and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, it's all right to start. First of all, I need to break this down so that you can understand.
Break it down.
Because, see, graffiti art is a tale of two parts.
Okay.
First part, it was created, incubated right here in New York City. Without New York City and the kids in New York City propelling this art form, it would have never gone anywhere.
Right.
And this has been an evolution from when the guy took the first tag to where we at now doing photorealistic artwork.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see the evolution and how much better this art form looks than when we first started.
Right.
Second of all, Europe has contributed a lot to the evolution of it because the Europeans have a long history of working with artists. I mean, they've been working with artists for centuries. New America does not appreciate artists or teachers.
True.
But in Europe is a different story. They never looked at their kids as criminals like they looked at us.
Right.
When we first started with graffiti art, we looked upon as vandals and criminals, and there were a lot of resources thrown to stop us. In Europe, on the other hand, parents support their kids. They're also supported by the government and the industries that supply us with the paints brought us much brighter paints, better colors. The German people from Germany who really care about precision. They've worked on innovations as far as the spray paint nozzle was concerned. When we started, it was just one nozzle, one size fits all. But now they've created a nozzle that can paint as thin as a pen, or as big as 3 feet wide.
Yeah, I know. Fire extinguishers.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And as far as the paint is concerned, they've created paint which is low pressure for artists, vibrant colors, different caps. You couldn't pay me, and you couldn't pay me to use a can of Rust-Oleum or Krylon now. I would not use it on any project that I have because this paint is far inferior to that of the European paints.
Right, so it's an evolution.
It is an evolution, but the American spray paint companies need to catch up, and they need to start sponsoring some of our events. I look forward to getting a call from you guys, an email from you guys,
and we have all the
about the
information.
Graffiti Hall of Fame and sponsoring us, and American companies getting involved with it. But right now, like I said, you couldn't give me a case of American paint.
Wow. And it's crazy because like we used to make our markers, our own tips, all of that. And now you can walk into an art store and get a mop marker.
No,
it's like,
those were the early years of this art form and the creativity of it. There was not a market outside of the immediate community.
Right.
Now the techniques of graffiti art is evident in all the advertisement that you see that is going out. You got to remember, we were the first people that was using stickers to promote ourselves.
Yeah.
And now everybody is doing guerrilla marketing, and they have a sticker.
Right.
So you have to remember what we have contributed to popular culture.
Right. Well, I mean, now they got the trains that are whole cars, but it's Target and stuff.
That's right.
I saw that. I was like, they would have arrested us for doing that.
Yeah, remember, we created the top to bottom whole car advertisement, but we were branding and marketing ourselves.
Right, exactly.
You know, and we are in the me sort of revolution with everything.
Right.
You know, so basically, we never got credit of it. And getting back to that, there is a need for a university or a community college right here in New York City to take on having this art form accredited in their school. As we stand today, there is not one university in the world that has an accredited program that will give you a degree in graffiti art where you could walk down the aisle in your cap and gown. I think time has come that one of the universities here in New York City needs to accreditate this art form.
Graffiti's not just from New York. I mean, people think that it's just from here. It was started here.
Yeah.
But I mean, Australia's got a big movement. Germany, Holland, Japan.
God.
I mean, I saw pictures of Japanese stuff, and they're not writing in English letters, but in their own letters.
Yeah.
With arrows and I mean, it's
with graffiti elements in it.
And Arab too.
Yeah.
They're doing it too.
Yeah. Well, it comes down to art being universally accepted now. I think we've gone past the point. You know, there's always going to be vandalism somewhere.
Right.
We can't accredit a whole art form
right.
and blame it on graffiti art for vandalism.
Right.
I mean, there's ways of curbing vandalism. The best way I see is to get young people more engaged in the art form and having them beautify their communities. Right. I would love to have a group of kids doing murals in my community,
right.
and having them use their energies on that to beautify the community. And I'm sure that would give any young person great self-esteem for their community.
Right. I mean, that's what it's all about. Hip-hop is really about community.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, it came from nothing, and now it's all over the world, but it's really about our community.
That's right.
From the Park Jams to, the Graffiti Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Where you could see it's all about that community. You had a community wall up in Harlem where I got to commend you that you were putting people that the kids should know about. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Wow, you remember that?
Yeah, man.
Well, that was called the People's Wall of 147th Street.
Right.
In 1999, I started a project to change just one block in Harlem, and that was 147th Street between Frederick Douglass and Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. On this abandoned school, we turned it into a mural that was a quarter of a block long, and we called it the People's Wall.
Right.
So if you would pass away that year and you had gave significant contributions to the African American experience, your name or your picture of you would be on the wall. Our cornerstones of the People's Wall were the largest murals in the world, largest portraits of the world of Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. But in between there, we honored people like Richard Pryor.
Right.
Of course, Coretta Scott King, Nina Simone, Barry White, Wilt Chamberlain, Dizzy Gillespie. If you had you did something significant in African American culture and you passed away, your name or your face would be on the People's Wall that year, and we thank you. We also had some community people there too involved with it, because it was a community effort to make the People's Wall happen. And I think it was just a great example of how you use this art form to beautify your community. And we miss it. It's been gone for about 10 years now, but of course we're still doing murals in our community. I also work with a group called FC Harlem, and their job is to promote youth soccer in Harlem, and I do graffiti art on all of their soccer fields as part of their presentation.
I saw you paint one of them.
Yeah, the one at the Milbank Center on 117th Street.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that one. I also did another one for them at Riverbank Park, which is a really big professional field with a scoreboard on it.
Wow.
But as you look around visually, it is graffiti art. And of course I have over 2,000 hours of community service in the Harlem community. I worked with a national organization called AmeriCorps, and I got a chance to give back and work with students. I try to work with a lot of nonprofit and community youth-based organizations, because it's part of my responsibility as a master of this art form to pass it on to other generations. And I've always thought that this art form was supposed to beautify our communities, and we were supposed to express the feelings of community, and I think that we are definitely doing that now.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it's all about. Like I keep saying, hip hop is community.
Yes.
That's what I think. Before that, the music is not that good and all of this, and if they're wearing their pants too low, they don't have community no more.
Yeah,
that's one thing that's not there. It's like there's not that.
I agree.
MCs back in the day used to battle each other, and it was like, it wasn't hatred. It was just like, you battled each other to get better. It wasn't like a life and death thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of movement in our community. We're sort of. There's a lot of change going on, and people don't quite know where they stand, and how to get involved. These have always been our communities, that they need to stay here, and we need to find ways to engage young people and get them active in community. And as artists, to beautify your community, I don't see nothing better than that.
Now, for a writer, a graffiti writer, do you think that they should look at Renaissance painting, modern art, all of that, just as a teaching tool, or do you think that it should just, be graph first that leads to the museum art, or like?
The easiest way to engage young people, I believe, in art, especially, is to engage them into hip-hop art, because it is what's contemporary.
Right.
And it's easier for them to understand and grasp that. And getting engaged in that and know about that history, and then we could get into other things. The way it is now, they're teaching about things that they're not related to at all. And of course, why would they be interested in it? And
there's no Picassos hanging up in their neighborhood.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
None whatsoever. And those movements are far away from what they are connected to. But I think graffiti art and artists like Dondi are contemporary, and they should learn about these, because these same artists come from these same communities. Dondi grew up in the East New York section of Brooklyn. I grew up in East New York and in Bedford-Stuyvesant. And to me, they can identify with me more than they can identify with Picasso.
Right, and that's the way it's got to be.
I think it needs to come from this current group of artists that are working in the communities, going into the school, getting the kids engaged.
Right.
And I think before you get your degree, maybe you can learn about that history. But right now, I think it's unnecessary.
Word. Because I mean, with graph, you got Picasso's within that. You got Renoir,
that are
everything
still
within
living.
Graph. Yeah, exactly.
That are still living.
Exactly.
That can also go into these schools. And I've always thought that this art form is bigger than where we have it now.
Yes.
We need to use our powers to help with positive causes in our community, whether it's for cancer, or whether it's for domestic violence,
rent control. I mean, whatever's affecting
you got it.
Right, whatever's affecting your community.
There's a lot of ways in which we can help bring awareness to other causes through graffiti art,
or hip hop in general.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I have, basically opened up a gallery.
Right, I was just about to ask you about that. Build on that. Tell us about the gallery.
In June, starting off with El Barrio Week, I had an exhibition about 2 Latino graffiti artists, both Puerto Ricans. One guy's name is Adam, who is from Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And the other guy's Baby 168. He's also from Brooklyn, Queens. And we had a show introducing the New York City Graffiti's Visitors and Event Center, a place specifically designated for graffiti art, exhibitions, panel discussions, workshops, as well as book signings and other hip hop related events.
Where is that located?
That's located at 162 and a half East 104th Street.
East 104th Street.
And that's between Lexington and 3rd Avenue. Our email address is nycgraffitievents@gmail.com if you would like to know what our upcoming schedule is. We also have a website. And that's www.nycgraffitievents.com. And you could check us out there. Or like I said, email us at nycgraffitievents@gmail.com.
That's dope. That's really dope, man. I'm glad we got together for this because
I am too.
It's really important to show people that hip hop is more than just what you see on the news or anything like that. It's a community. There's actually teachers within it. There's people willing to mentor youth. We're not about violence and all that. Not all of us. Sometimes it's a product of the environment. You go through that, but hip hop is really set to get you out of that, overcoming the negative to the positive.
We're in evolution. Like a young person is in evolution. I'm still a painting artist, not only in my community. I also do canvases too. And to me, it doesn't stop. My contribution to my community doesn't stop. That my daughter is about to graduate college.
Wow, congratulations, man. That's what's up.
Thank you very much. I also was inducted into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
There you go.
As a graffiti artist, something that is very hard to do because basically people look at hip hop and just think about rap music.
Exactly. But that's why we both have our shows as well.
Yes.
To show them.
Definitely.
Because it's an element in the culture, but you don't see records with it no more. Just Ice used to have it on records.
Yeah.
People used to have it on there, and now it's all digitized photography, and they got away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the last record that I saw with Graff, and it was Master Killer. He had it was laid out nice and everything. But other than that, you really don't see Graff, man. And it's sort of like the forgotten element, except when you go underground.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's an underground element still.
Then it's still live.
Right.
What is a huge underground hip hop music scene in New York. I think as far as underground, there's always going to be an element of underground in our culture, and especially here in New York, because we're such purists
right.
hip hop culture. And no, we don't want the commercial stuff. We want that gritty street flow. You know,
want the samples that crackle and stuff.
But you know, for me, it's about evolution and about growing. And the best of me is still yet to come.
Word up.
And I want to give that to the community and to all the other good people like yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know, thank you for this opportunity.
No problem.
Man.
I mean,
you know?
I got more questions. With evolution, you've seen it from the park jams to now on TV.
Yeah.
What were some of the park jams back in the day like? Were there people actually b-boying and stuff? And then you had writers on the wall. Was it like what they showed on Beach Street? How was it?
Well, to be honest with you, most of the parks that they had the jams in already had graffiti out. We painted at night.
Okay, right. Okay.
So when the people came through,
I just want you to set the stage for cats that don't know.
No. You know what? Graffiti art used to be very secretive, and it still is to some people that are still active out there doing what they do.
Right.
It just got, you know, to me, I'm a part of another kind of movement to try to get this accredited and into the fabric of our educational system.
So cats don't even get arrested
as well. We had some place that we could show our artwork at. We have a following people that want to support each other, and you know, everybody got to do their art the way they do their art.
Right.
I'm not going to say for a person, well, you know what, you don't do this, but then also too, you got to deal with the consequences of your actions. So I'm not going to be a corny guy to say, well, you know what, don't do this, because that's how I got famous.
Right.
I mean, I got famous in these same streets of Brooklyn. And you know what? But then now, that was 20 years ago. 30 years ago,
you gotta evolve. You gotta evolve.
Yes,
that's
you got to evolve.
That's the essential point. You gotta evolve.
You have to evolve, and you have to make good choices for yourself in life.
And what feeds your family and keeps you safe and all of that. Word.
All of those things, man, that's going to help give you nourishment, man, to grow as a good, productive person in society. I ain't saying that you got to work for somebody, because no, you can work for yourself now. Because there's not nobody being signed to record contracts no more like that, because mostly these artists are independent artists, and they don't have to sign those slave contracts.
But I mean, with today's technology, you can make a record with someone in Germany and homeboy will be in the Bronx.
There you go.
And you make a record that way.
Yeah.
And with us, it's easier because we could take pictures and have it all around the world.
That's right.
Within a second.
That's right.
Whereas when you was coming up, it was like, it was centralized, and then maybe you might get a picture here and there.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, when I was young, I didn't take a lot of pictures. Anyway, because when it came down to that, I'd rather buy something to eat than to buy a camera or a film to go into the camera.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people ask me, like, oh, where's pictures of yourself? I was like, I never took pictures.
No, we wasn't into taking pictures.
You know, I didn't even write the same name all the
time. There's a bunch of guys that's out there. They grew up with a silver spoon in the mouth. They didn't rack up paint. They bought their paint. They took pictures. And these guys, they got all of their stuff, and they try to flaunt it like they was about that back in those days, in which we know that they wasn't. I'm African American. I grew up African American, which means that there was not a lot of money to do things like buy paint and to buy cameras to take pictures. My experience was total different, and I could identify with some of these people, because basically they took off our expression when they ended the art programs in the schools for the generation of kids, and that's how graffiti art came about. It's about expression. It's about learning what you like to do and what you want to be about as an artist. And no matter what you do, you need expression because it's going to make you feel better. You're going to use your creativity too. And it also gives you a voice. I don't got to talk about what I don't like anymore because you can just look at one of my paintings and you could tell, what my feelings are about anything in particular because I'm a visual artist. I've also, too, for the last 35 years, been involved with film and video. That's another part of expression. See, you don't have to just label yourself. You could be an artist of a lot of different things out here. Don't let nobody put a label on you because I'm not going to accept a label on me. And that's the best thing that I could say to any young people out there today.
I see that you got the James Top shirt.
Yeah,
where can people get that?
Well, we don't have any website. We really sell them at the visitor center.
Okay.
But if you're interested in one place to reach me, Graffiti NYC TV at gmail.com, and I'll make sure that you'll be able to get a shirt. I think they're like $20 or something like that. Basically, I want people to come to the center, get a chance to check out the film festival, the art exhibitions, and the panel discussions. You get a chance to see my man Peds work this year too at one of our shows, man. I'm looking forward to you, man, showing your work.
I appreciate it, man. I'm honored.
You're welcome, man. We need you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
We need you.
We need you.
No, I learned from you. This sounds like we're going back and forth here, but I mean, literally, without the elders, without cats before us, we wouldn't be where we're at now. And you got to remember that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for some of the older cats, you can't be so bitter. You know what I mean? Because we're not holding you back. You know what I mean?
No, nobody's ever holding you back. Right. You're your worst enemy. And there's some people that have an agenda to hold us back and to keep us back and to keep on trying to dirty our names. But we know about that trick long ago, man. You're not stopping us. We're going to continue with our agenda.
Going to the top.
There you go, the TOP.
TOP. Yo, I have one more question. This is airing in December. Do you have anything going on in December?
You know what?
Or should they just look out on the website?
Same thing. Graffiti NYC TV will be on. In 2019, we'll have new exhibitions at the center, probably starting March the 1st. I'm public. I'm on Instagram, James Top Productions, Facebook, James Top. Please watch the show, Graffiti NYC. We on every Sunday, 1:30 a.m., channel 67. And you can see us on live stream on the net at www.mnn.org. And that stands for Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And I'm just blessed, man, to be here. I'm happy, and I look forward to working with everybody.
Yes, and make sure you visit the Hall of Fame, Graffiti Hall of Fame, 106 in Park.
106 in Park.
You can take your kids, everything, because it's a tremendous spot. It's artwork. It's like going to the Met.
It is.
It is. Graffiti Hall of Fame, my brother James Top. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, man.
No problem. Anytime, man.
I appreciate
Anything
it.
I can do for you.
Visual Caffeine, y'all.
Word. Peace.